What's poppin' everybody? Welcome to the Pokemon TCG Overview, and today I'm covering the Dewgong Seel line. Both of these classic water Pokemon are special in my heart for several reasons, and I'm happy to say they have some interesting cards under their belt. I still remember the Seel sticker from school, when we bought stickers from the canteen before Pogs replaced them and became a phenomenon. As always, we're going to cover the pre-evolution too, just Seel in this case. It never got any Pokebody, power, or ability, and from being introduced in base set to the end of the EX era, was always weak to lightning. Starting with DP, it was then always weak to metal, but then with its last print in evolution started to be weak to grass. Of course, as an original water Pokemon from Kanto, it gets an extended sheet print in Extended Sheet 2, Japan exclusive, but it also gets two owners versions in the Wizards era, owned by Misty, and a Delta Species print too. It's also kinda crazy to think about the base set and Gym Heroes Seel had 60 HP, but then it would never hit that until Diamond and Pearl again. Naturally, the original Dewgong comes from base set as well, and it actually gets reprinted in base set 2 and Legendary, along with Seel. This card is basically fond memories of the Game Boy Color game to me. As a print though, it's a great Dewgong card. 80 HP is great for a Stage 1, if you consider all the other Stage 1 Pokemon that had 60 and 70 HP, and it actually has solid no bullshit attacks. Straight 50 for 3 is perfect, and sometimes relying on the chance paralysis of Ice Beam is a sound strategy. Naturally, this card is to be paired with Blastoise, otherwise it has no chance against Haymaker and a million energy removals. You can say Gyarados from the same set outclasses it, but not completely. To run Gyarados, you have to run Magikarp with only 30 HP, and that is incredibly dangerous and risky, while Seel has a good 60 HP, and it makes a huge difference. This classic card gets an improved remake in evolutions, but sadly wasn't enough by today's standards. The 120 HP is fine, but 90 for 3 along with self-damage is not good enough. Note, like the Seel remake, they changed the weakness to grass. The Extended Sheet 2 Dewgong has lovely art and reminds me of my favorite beach spot in Paphos and Cypress period. Sadly, the card isn't any good. The attacks actually aren't that terrible, the 60 HP is the problem. Out of the two owners versions, Misty's Dewgong is the only one we get from Gym Heroes, and it's not exactly an improvement from the first one. It has one less retreat, so it's better stat-wise, but takedown isn't worse than doing 50 for 3. It does 60 for 4 and also damages you for 20. Ice Throw can do 40 for 2 if the defending Pokemon is a fighting type, but because that's situational, isn't the greatest, although you can 2-hit fuck up Hitmonchan. Dewgong also gets one of the more retro special cards, a light print, with Light Dewgong from Neo Destiny. It has the same stats as Misty's Dewgong, and while it doesn't hit as hard as the other ones, it does provide some tricks. Freezing Breath does 10 for 2, but will always paralyze or put to sleep the opponent. If you use Ice Pillar and Light Dewgong stays active, your bench will be protected from damage if your opponent attacks it, and you do 40. It's another situational attack though, and 40 for 3 as it is weak. Price's Dewgong is the only other owner's print, and exclusive to Japan seeing as it comes from the Versus set, but it's crap anyway so we don't lose that much. Starting with this card though, Dewgong will be weak to metal now. Dewgong from Skyridge looks cool if you ask me, and while not very competitive either, it's trying to get there. Once again, the stats are the same with no improvement, and only the weakness changes. Freeze Lock does 20 for 2, and if you get heads, your opponent can attach energies from their hand to the active Pokemon. Obviously there's a strong disruption effect, but as always the coin flip is in the way. Not bad though. Crushing Ice can actually be a great attack. It starts at 40 for 4, but will do 10 more for each energy in your opponent's retreat cost. Most Pokemon will have at least one, so you can hit 50, but with more than that the damage starts to get good. Being able to do 70 or 80 damage on the heavy guys is excellent damage for the time, but if you have to compare this with something like Feraligatr, it's still not that good. Dewgong got 2 prints each in the EX era and DP, and 2 prints in the 6th gen, counting the Evolutions remake. No cards in Black and White, and no current cards for Sun and Moon. The cool thing is that all 4 in 3rd gen and DP have Pokebodies, and besides the base set original have the best prints. Even in 3rd gen, Dewgong's stats in Fire and Leaf Green didn't improve from the previous ones, but it gets a strong Pokebody and Safeguard, making it immune to EX Pokemon. Instant Sleep with 10 for 1 energy is okay, and while Aurora Beam isn't that good doing 40 for 3, at least it works with any energy, effectively making this card a flexible tech EX counter if you choose to run it. Nice holographic art, and certainly more useful than the other ones that came after base set. If that's not good enough, the Dragon Frontier's Delta Species print actually blocks a lot of damage from other Delta Species Pokemon. Blocking 40 damage is a lot. With a little support from Delta Species Espeon and other cards, it can come close to invincible against them. You can use any energies with its attacks, making another flexible Stage 1 tech, but if you have at least 2 water energies, Surge will do 60 for 3. Same stats with only the weakness changing back to Lightning again, but as a Delta Species Pokemon itself, it gets some exclusive support. I dig the art on this one too, and as a colorless Pokemon, it means it can hit Dragon-type Pokemon for weakness. With Diamond and Pearl Mysterious Treasures finally gets an improvement with 90 HP, and a Pokebody meant to work with its attack. Collapse does 60 for 3, which isn't all that bad, but not good either, but puts you to sleep too. With Cold Fat, as long as Dewgong is asleep, it will receive 40 less damage from anything, an impressive tanking effect. This card honestly didn't do anything though, trying this luck stuff, but the art is a redeeming aspect again. Supreme Victor's Dewgong is the better one from Diamond and Pearl, and one of the best Dewgong cards, being a counter to 3 different types of Pokemon. With Thick Fat, it will yet again tank damage. In this case, just like the ability in the games, it will tank 30 less from Fire and Water Pokemon. That can cover a lot of ground. Aurora Beam 4 for 70 isn't special, but Ice Shard, when used against a fighting Pokemon, will do 80 for 2 instead of 30. Very powerful and fast enough. I'm gonna sound like a bitch, but the artwork is legit, and it has 100 HP, best HP so far, although it does get a 3 retreat cost as opposed to 2. After this card, we return to just bad, since the one in Fates Collide, many sets after Supreme Victors, doesn't do much. I guess Freezing Breath would always paralyze or put the target to sleep while doing 20, but 100 for 4 is crap, despite 120 HP being okay. This card is still legal as I'm writing this in Standard, and of course cards like these are only there to be there, as I mentioned before. And that's all the Dewgong cards we have. I've already talked about the Evolutions remake in the beginning. It didn't do anything in Standard either, and they should be leaving soon too, if I get this video on time. As you guys have noticed, Dewgong cards have never been that great, and since it isn't one of the most popular Pokemon, despite being from Gen 1, it hasn't got almost any special prints, and many prints in general. It does have the rare Light card, which makes it unique, but it wasn't that powerful, and it does have 2 Owner's versions, and a Delta Species card at least that's good. The best Dewgong cards function as good techs from blocking damage from different Pokemon, and hitting certain Pokemon harder. Almost all of the Dewgong and Seel cards look lovely if you ask me, and the base set print can be used with Blastoise too. Thank you guys for watching, hope you liked it. You can leave a comment for a Pokemon line you'd like to see, I might consider it. Leave a like, share this with your friends, and subscribe for all things TCG. Say Bro94, what's up?